Welcome to this week's edition of the Tiger Men's Basketball Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Scarry. And, Coach, the Tigers won game last week, and it was a successful one as you defeated a very good UNC Greensboro squad, 56-53, down there in the Greensboro Coliseum. And kind of an odd game for you because you thought you had a full rifle heading into the game. And then about 5 minutes before game time, the rifle lost a bullet.
Yeah, it was maybe like 15, 20 minutes before the game. Jason Gibbs's back just tightened up on him in the locker room, and we couldn't get it loose. So we had to scratch him out. So I don't think I did a really good job early with some offensive play calling. I think that probably got our guys out of rhythm a little bit. And they're good. They're well coached. They're good. They had a nice crowd down there, and we got behind early. But I think obviously our guys figured out how to reset in the second half, and it was a good win. It was a really good win for us.
How does that affect you? I mean, you know, if you knew going into the game that you were going to be shy, Jason, does that change that it happens right before game time?
You know what? Yeah, it does. And you know, like, thankfully, this is where guys like Timberlake and Holden especially, and Thompson, but Cam especially kind of bail you out because it's so versatile. What's not good is we somewhat have too much experience at this. Last year we had a bunch of these in game with some guys with some breathing issues and respiratory deal, and so I think I've gotten better at dealing with it. I don't think a younger version of myself would have dealt with that as well. So I did tell a couple of players, I said, I haven't been playing you as much as you think, so you'll play more tonight. So just go out there and execute. But it throws you off, there's no question.
You were able to get some guys in that maybe wouldn't have played. Christian May, the freshman, got some playing time. Ryan Conway got more playing time on Thursday. So those are things that could help you down the road. Yeah,
I think they're both good players, and I do believe in both guys. So I've got to get them more minutes because we're going to need them. You know, and it's been a little bit trickier just because you've been in highly competitive road games, so you're really throwing a guy into the fire. But I thought we put everybody in the first half, other than Christian May, and then I thought in the second half he had a good 7-minute stretch where he had 2 or 3 rebounds. He played some really good defense, which is what he does, and we got in a rhythm. So obviously I wish I had done that earlier because he had a really positive effect on the game.
All right, now, you played Penn last week, and Jordan Dingle did not score in the first half, and he went off in the second half. Thursday night, Nick Timberlake had 2 points at halftime, and he went off in the second half. That is one of the best halves I've seen from a Towson player in I don't know how long.
Yeah, I agree. He was sensational. The only half I can really remember, well, obviously we've had a lot of guys have great moments, but maybe I thought about that on the way home. You probably remember this. Bannerman, my second year when we had lost 22 straight games to George Mason, and in the first half I think he had 21 points in the first half. We had a huge lead. So Nick really carried us late. He asked for the ball in the last time out, which obviously gives you a warm feeling as a coach. And I'm really proud because he didn't have a good first half. And credit to Amanda Clements, our sports performance coach. I asked Nick the other day, how did you reset? He said, I worked on some breathing techniques I've been working on with her. And I said, oh, amen to that because it worked.
It sure did. So the Tigers now 4-0. You're showing up in the mid-major top 25. Today in the Athletics, Seth Davis had you 9th in his mid-major poll. First time you've ever appeared in that. So starting to get the accolades. And with that, you said you're going to get everybody's best shot. And now that you're showing up in these polls, I think you're going to get even more of a shot from opponents, and that starts Tuesday night against Coppin.
Yeah, right. You know, proud peacock today, feather duster tomorrow if you're not careful. I mean, we have a lot of respect for Coppin. They're good. They're 3-3. They've got good wins. And they should have beat Georgetown at Georgetown. So Juan Dixon, obviously a tremendous player, is doing a great job there. They play wide open, and they shoot a ton of threes. It was the same thing last year. They're 10th of the most in the country. they have two fantastic perimeter players. The kid Sessoms he's not overly tall, but he scores it, he shoots it, he drives it, he passes it, he creates with it. And then Tark is a big-time athlete, scorer, and finisher. So those guys make them go. And they play with really good spacing, so they test your defense. And then they do some different things on the other side of the ball to force you to turn it over. So we got to take care of the ball.
Yeah, Sessoms was a stud at Binghamton, then went to Penn State and now at Coppin, and he's averaging, over 20 points a game. And like you said, I mean, he fills up the stat sheet. He's second on the team in rebounding, leads the team in assists, leads the team in steals. So he's all over offense and defense.
Oh, he's a big-time player. Yeah, big-time player, and he's going to really test our team defense. But I think so much of it is you hope to run good offense so that you can limit the opportunities they have in transition.
All right, then Thanksgiving weekend, you head to Savannah, Georgia for the Savannah Invitational, where you will play on Friday against Fairfield, Saturday against South Alabama, and Sunday against Mercer. So 3 teams you're really not that familiar with 3 days in a row, and I know this is something that you kind of plan to get you ready for what you're going to face in Washington in March.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not familiar with any of the teams yet. I know Fairfield well just because my best friend in coaching, Jay Young, is the head coach of Fairfield. He's a guy that got me into Division I. We worked together at Northeastern years ago, so I'm excited about the challenge. I'm not overly excited about competing against a good friend. But it does hopefully set us up for what we want to, what we aspire to in March. It'll be great to spend Thanksgiving with you, obviously, and we are looking forward to traveling down there. But honestly, the entire focus is on trying to beat a good Coppin team Tuesday, and then we'll turn the page.
Are you carving the turkey?
I am not. We have a restaurant all set. We haven't divulged that to you yet because I know you're a little bit picky. But we got a good setup for everyone on Thursday.
Is this a case where you got 3 games in 3 days that you expect that you are going to use a lot of guys?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we're.
And will you watch that as the games progress?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, but guys want to play. We've been trying to be mindful of their minutes. We're not going to divulge, but we had Gibson banged up. We had some other guys that are banged up. It's not ideal timing, but we got to figure it out. We pride ourselves on that, and we always tell our guys they have to take on strain, take on additional strain. So that's what some guys are going to have to do.
4 games in, and you've had 4 tight basketball games. UMass actually has been your biggest margin of victory, and they've gone on to do great things since you beat them. Where do you assess where you are and where you hope to be through the first 4 games?
Yeah, I'm ecstatic that we're 4-0 because we've played some really good teams, especially on the road. But we're still a work in progress. I honestly, because of some guys being banged up, we haven't practiced as much as I would have hoped. I thought we were going to have a couple of heavy practices to improve at some things. So we're going to have to use games to learn how to execute. That's always a little bit scary. But I believe in the group, and I believe in the long-term ability of the group. And, injuries are part of the deal and playing different styles. And maybe this is a chance for some other guys that we haven't played as much to step forward and shine because we're going to need those guys later on.
Do you know enough about the 3 teams you're playing this weekend that maybe they all run different styles, which will help you down the road?
I don't. I know a couple of them that do 2 totally different styles. So I think one I'd compare to like College of Charleston, or Wilmington, who's outstanding and up and down, and another one to like a Delaware that's going to be a little bit more methodical and try to grind you out in the half court.
And I know that's something you like in your non-conference to mix it up and have different things going on.
And we've seen that a little bit so far. I mean, like I said, I think the 3 road wins we've had are all teams that are going to win 20-plus games.
All right, so the Tigers at home Tuesday night against Coppin. Game time 7 o'clock at CQ. We hope you all come out for that one. So,
do you know? I got one for you. Do you know what happened when 50 Cent got hungry?
No.
$58.
That'll do it for this edition of the Tiger Men's Basketball Report. For the head coach, Pat, Henny, Youngman, Scary, I'm Spiro Marikis. Look it up, kids. We'll talk to you soon.